Dismissed Bamban Mayor Alice Go, otherwise known as Chinese national Go Huaping, left the Philippines in July, according to Senator Risa Hontiveros. During the Senate plenary session on Monday, Hontiveros reveals information that Go is already out of the country and is in fact in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia on July 18. According to the senator, Go even used her Philippine passport to exit the country. The senator discloses that Go also went to Singapore where she met her parents.
Ayon sa aking isa pang source, Mr. President, tumuloy si Alice Guo sa Singapore kung saan nagtagpo-tagpo sila ng kanyang magulang na sina Lin Wenyi at Guo Jianzhong. The couple flew in from China on July 28, 2024. Mistulang reunion sila doon kasama sina Wesley Guo at Cassandra Ong.
Hontiveros questions how Go was able to leave the country.
Mr. President, who allowed this travesty to happen? Sinong may kagagawa nito? Hindi makakaalis si Alice Guo kung walang tumulong sa kanya na mga opisyales ng pamahalaan para tayong ginisa sa sarili nating mantika. I have always believed that legislative hearings are policy-driven. Kaya nung nag-announce na ng ban ang Pangulo, sabi ko, we have done our jobs. Let law enforcement take the lead.
This prompted Hontiveros to lambast the Bureau of Immigration, who promised her and Senate President Pro Tempore Jinggoy Estrada that they wouldn't allow Go to leave the country. Hontiveros says that it would be a big slap to the country's laws, procedures, and policies if the Philippine government does not address this issue. But according to Department of Justice Assistant Secretary Jose Dominic Lavano IV, Go is still in the Philippines and that there has been no report on her attempted departure from the Bureau of Immigration. Clavano adds that Go even asked the DOJ to dismiss the qualified human trafficking complaint against her last August 16. Clavano further says that a thorough investigation will be needed if it is proven that Alice Go left the country. Last week, the Office of the Ombudsman ordered the dismissal of Go following investigations into her alleged connections with an illegal Philippine offshore gaming operator's hub in her town. A new case of mpox, formerly known as monkeypox, has been recorded in the country, according to the Department of Health. The DOH says it received information on a newly recorded mpox case on August 18. This is the first case of mpox in the country this year, raising the overall logged cases nationwide to 10. The country's last recorded mpox case was in December 2023. All previous mpox patients have recovered. According to DOH, the mpox patient is a 33-year-old male Filipino national who resides in the National Capital Region. The patient has no travel history outside the Philippines, but the DOH says it had close, intimate contact 3 weeks before onset of symptom. The agency adds that the patient's symptoms started more than a week ago with fever, which was followed by findings of a distinct rash on the face, back, nape, trunk, groin, as well as palms and soles 4 days later. The common symptoms of mpox include skin rash or mucosal lesions, which can last 2 to 4 weeks, as well as fever, headache, muscle aches, back pain, low energy, and swollen lymph nodes. DOH Secretary Teodoro Herbosa reminds the public that mpox is transmitted through close and intimate contact and by using materials contaminated by people who have the virus. He adds that DOH will make the testing process as convenient as possible so that cases may be identified fast. Deputy Speaker David Suarez is asking Vice President Sara Duterte if the House of Representatives Quad Committee should stop its probe into drug smuggling just because her husband and brother were mentioned during the Quad Committee hearing. According to Suarez, they do not deserve the people's vote and trust if they stop an investigation that includes names of big personalities. On Sunday, the Vice President dubbed the allegations against her husband, lawyer Manasseh Scarpio, and brother Davao City 1st District Representative Paulo Duterte as political harassment. She also said she would keep her distance as she could not speak for them. The Quad Committee has started its hearing on the illegal activities inside Philippine offshore gaming operators, the illegal drug trade, alleged connivance of government offices, and human rights violations. Former Bureau of Customs Intelligence Officer Jimmy Guban told the Quad panel that former Environment Undersecretary Benny Antiporda sent emissaries in 2018 to warn him that he would die if he named Representative Duterte, Carpio, and former President Rodrigo Duterte's economic advisor Michael Yang as individuals involved in the illegal drug shipment in 2018. Guban was referring to the 1 ton of shabu worth 6.8 billion pesos concealed in a magnetic lifter which eluded authorities in 2018. According to Guban, a certain Paul Gutierrez, supposedly part of Antiporda's staff, relayed the death threat and even said that his child could be kidnapped if he mentioned Representative Duterte, Carpio, and Yang. But Representative Duterte, Antiporda, and Gutierrez have all denied Guban's accusations. Meanwhile, Senior Deputy Speaker Aurelio Gonzalez urged Vice President Duterte and her relatives to just answer the allegations. Manila 6th District Representative Bienvenido Abante Jr. says Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa should attend the House of Representatives Quad Committee's hearing on the drug war instead of saying things to the media. In an interview, Abante says it appears de la Rosa has a lot to say about the alleged human rights violations during the drug war of former President Rodrigo Duterte's administration, despite the senator not accepting invitations to attend the hearings being conducted by the House Committee on Human Rights and the Quad panel. Abante urged de la Rosa to attend the House inquiry after de la Rosa said that several lawmakers were unprincipled and opportunistic because they aligned themselves with former President Duterte when he was still in office, only to call out the drug war after his term ended. De la Rosa was Duterte's first Philippine National Police Chief. He was in charge of implementing the drug war, which was more known as Oplan Tokhang. De la Rosa's statements did not also sit well with Antipolo's 2nd District Representative Romeo Acop. According to Acop, it was De La Rosa who acted like an opportunist and a lapdog of Duterte. He added that De La Rosa used his connections with Duterte to facilitate his ascension to being PNP chief and later on as senator. However, De La Rosa clarified that he was not alluding to Acop as he had the utmost respect for the Antipolo lawmaker who is also a former PNP general. He said that he only opposes the hearings done by Abante's panel, which listened to the testimonies of drug war victims' relatives. After receiving flack over his remarks, Senator Robin Padilla says his questions pertaining to consent between spouses are only hypothetical and not based on his actions and beliefs. During a Senate hearing last week, Padilla asked lawyer Lorna Capunan what would be the lawful recourse for a husband whose wife turns down his sudden sexual urge. In a statement, Padilla apologizes for his remarks, adding that his question was hypothetical based on the sentiments and reality of common Filipinos. According to Padilla, he only sought to generate conversations on the topic by raising such questions. The senator says these sensitive topics should be tackled and talked about in order to fix and correct the law. Padilla, who heads the Senate Committee on Public Information and Mass Media, was conducting an inquiry into sexual abuse allegations against 2 contractors of TV network GMA when he posed this question on Thursday, August 15. Padilla's remarks drew backlash from netizens as well as women's rights group, Gabriela. One of the TV network independent contractors tagged in the alleged sexual abuse of actor Sandro Muhlach was ordered detained by the Senate on Monday, August 19. Senate President Pro Tempore Jinggoy Estrada cited for contempt Jojo Nones, an independent contractor of GMA, for denying that he offered to donate money to Sandro's father, former child actor Nino Mulak's charity of choice, allegedly as settlement. Nones, along with fellow contractor Richard Cruz, were named by Muhlach as respondents in the administrative complaint that he filed before GMA and at the National Bureau of Investigation. Nones and Cruz both attended the hearing of the Senate Committee on Public Information and Mass Media, which is probing the alleged prevalent sexual abuse and harassment cases in the entertainment industry. Sandro Muhlach attended the inquiry virtually together with his lawyer. Prior to the contempt citation, Estrada asked Nones if he offered any financial contribution to the Muhlach's charitable institution.
No offer po of settlement, Your Honor.
I did not ask if it's a settlement or not. I did not say it's a settlement. You're putting words into my mouth. Mr. Chair, I move that he be cited in contempt.
Senator Robin Padilla, who heads the Senate panel, approved the motion for contempt. Meanwhile, in a later ambush interview, Estrada explained that Richard Cruz was not cited in contempt because he was not talking at the time. In the previous hearing, Nino Mulak said that Nones and Cruz personally apologized to him during a meeting arranged by GMA Senior Vice President Annette Cozon Valdez and offered to give a sum of money to their chosen charity. The 2 respondents further denied that Mulak was abused, saying they thought it was consensual.